All right, friends. So today we're going to be breaking down the 4 different ways to making money as a content creator or creative freelancer. If you don't know who I am, my name is Alexi De La Cuesta, and I am a full-time content creator with over 140,000 followers on Instagram and over 50,000 followers on TikTok. But before creating content, I was running a video production business for about 5 years. And my video production business has worked with dozens and dozens of creators and entrepreneurs build their personal brand online, as well as creating content, as well as creating advertisements and commercials for local businesses in my city. So without further ado, let's go into breaking down the 4 different ways to making money as a creative. Okay, so in these 4 quadrants, we have 4 different things. We have one-off projects, we have retainers, we have brand deals and UGC. And finally, we have digital products. All right, so I'm going to be going through just kind of the pros and cons between all 4 of these, I guess, ways on how you can make money as a creative. Now, we'll start off with the cons for the one-off projects here. Just want to make sure I am in line here. Okay, cool. So for the one-off projects, some really notable cons that I've experienced and that what I've seen from other creatives is, number 1 is obviously unpredictable income. So unpredictable income. Now this is pretty self-explanatory. You're doing one-time projects. So when, obviously when the project ends, the money stops until you find another, right? But again, this doesn't mean it's completely bad. Like, honestly, if I was a beginner like this, I would recommend these kind of projects for beginners. But let me just keep going with the cons. So another con, or the last con I have, is you have no leverage. And what I mean about no leverage is that you have to keep selling and delivering just to stay afloat, meaning you're hunting and you're killing what you hunt, then you got to hunt again. Okay, so you got no leverage there. Now moving on to the pros of these one-off projects. Firstly, we got fast cash, right? Fast cash, sorry. So you finish the job, you get paid immediately, or you get paid up front, which is really, really great early on, right? And finally, we got easy entry. Easy entry, meaning clients just understand this model. So it's really the simplest way to start freelancing. And going back to beginners out there, if you're a beginner, I would recommend offering one-off projects, right? It's an easy way to get cash, and it's super easy to sell compared to these other ways of making money as a creative, right? Because the client isn't locked in for X amount of months or years with you. So if let's say you're a videographer, maybe you can offer one-time videos for a campaign they're launching. If you're a video editor, maybe you're working on a long-form video for a YouTuber, or even if you're just like a graphic designer where you need to make a website designed for a for someone, right? So that's one of the projects. The next one we have is our retainers. So let's scroll up there. So we got retainers, and now some of the cons that retainers have is the first one being income cap. And what I mean about an income cap is that you can only take on so many clients before you obviously burn out, right? So if you have, let's say, 10 retainers, at one point we had like 35 retainers in our video production business, and shit just started to break. We could not take on as much content or as many clients. We had to start building more automations and systems in place in order to serve, let's say, 35 clients, but there's a certain point where it just caps out, right? Another one is client risk. So what I mean by client risk is that if you lose a retainer, that can instantly wipe out a big chunk of income that you have in your business. And I've seen this firsthand with my own video production business. We had one client that was paying us maybe, let's say, like 50% of our revenue during our first year. And after 6 months, they decided to go a different direction, and we just lost a big chunk of our cash flow, right? And during that time, we weren't even looking for more clients. We thought, oh, this is going to last us for a while. We're doing pretty good. But once you lose that client, man, it could take a pretty big hit. But yeah, moving on to the pros for retainers. Obviously, you got stable income. This is a no-brainer. And you know what you'll make each month, which obviously reduces financial stress in your life. And the other one is lower sales effort. Meaning it's one agreement can pay you for months without just re-pitching, right? So that's what's really good about retainers. Now for retainers, I still would recommend it to beginners if you have some experience under your belt. For example, you can kind of go off from, like, let's say if you're doing a one-off project for a company, you can try to upsell them after doing that work into a retainer, right? And obviously if you're intermediate to advanced, creative, I'd say retainers are some of the best ways in making money predictably, right? Okay, so moving on to the brand deals / UGC. This is gonna be a fun one. This is something I've been doing for about a couple months now. So let's do the cons first for brand deal / UGC. So for the cons, we've got inconsistent deals. So this is pretty apparent when it comes to brand deals and UGC, meaning, some months are great, others are just completely dry. I'll give you an example. Right now it's January. The past 3 months, I've been getting a ton of brand deals. And the reason for that is because naturally it's the end of Q4, or it's Q4. Brands are trying to push out their product for the holidays. And so naturally you'll be getting more brand deals during that season. Whereas after the holidays, like Q1, Q2 maybe, you won't be getting as many brand deals because during this time, a lot of the brands are just figuring out their budget for Q3, Q4 to push out their products, right? So you got inconsistent deals. Next one we got, it is platform dependent. And what I mean about platform dependent is, it relies on your reach, trends, and it relies on the algorithms directly. The algorithm directly affects your income. So let's say you're posting videos, you're not really getting the engagement you want. That could affect the rate card you have. It doesn't give you much leverage when it comes to negotiating with these brands. So it's very platform dependent, obviously. But for the pros for brand deals and UGC content, we got high pay per cost. And what I mean by this is one piece of content can pay more than days of client work. And I'll give you a really good example of this. So right now I have 141,000 followers. Last month I did a brand deal with a brand, ManyChat, and they paid me 5,500 USD. By the way, I'm in Canada, so that equals to I think like $7,000 or something like that. And it required me to make two basic talking head videos that they could use. So that took me 2 days to do. 2 days to film, edit, script, all that jazz. And I was able to make more from that project than a lot of retainers, right, that I've did in the past. So high pay per cost. Another thing as well with being able to get paid more is, say a brand wants to use your video for paid usage. you can start making money without actively working. And what I mean by that is, let's say you make a video for $1,000, you give it to the brand, they come back to you, they're saying, hey, we'd love to use this piece of content for our ads. You can then charge a percentage to them for paid ad usage. Let's say I charged, I don't know, like freaking 10% or whatever, right? Let's say I charge whatever, 10%. I then make $100 per month for the duration of their paid ad campaign, if that makes sense. So if they use the video for 3 months, I charge 10%. I make $100 per month, and that's just me just sitting, not doing any work for them, any further work for them. I'm just collecting, like kind of passive income from them at that point. And I know there's some creators out there who charge less absurd amount of money for paid usage, and they just start cashing in checks for an entire year because they're running the ad for an entire year, right? So that's high paper costs. Another one is audience leverage. And what I mean by audience leverage is you're paid for influence and creativity, not hours worked. So again, going back, or maybe not the other example, but I'll give you another example from my experience. There was a contract I signed, which the brand deal was about $3K US, and all I had to do was showcase a specific effect that their platform does. And it took me 3 hours to script, edit, and create. That video went bananas. It got 1 million plus views. It was really good. It got really good exposure for them. But it only took me 3 hours to do. So I just made 3K in 3 hours. By the way, 3K US. Again, I'm in Canada. It's a lot of money. So I was making about $1,000 per hour there, which is pretty insane. So again, paid for the influence and creativity, not hours work. And another way of saying this is also like, the higher your follower count is, the more you can just charge. So yeah, that's brand deals and UGC. Now for these, in order to get brand deals and UGC, I don't recommend doing this if you're a beginner. Reason being is, obviously, if you're a beginner, chances are you don't have a following or a brand to be pushing out these content. You can kind of get away with some UGC content, but again, UGC doesn't pay as much as brand deals. So what I did in order to get to a point where I can take on brand deals is I did one-off projects and retainers to just pay the bills. That was me just doing my video production business. And in the side, or during this process of me just serving my regular clients, I was creating content. I was creating content for myself and posting it on my page. And then eventually my page started to grow and I started to take on more brand deals, right? So pretty cool stuff. Moving on to digital products. Digital products. Honestly, I think this is kind of like the money shot for a lot of creatives out here, is digital products. And I'll just go over the cons first. The cons for digital products is delayed payoff, meaning you have to put in the work up front before seeing real returns, meaning creating content, creating sales pages, creating your actual product. And there's a lot of upfront work to do to create that product. And again, like I mentioned, you don't really see any real returns for a couple of months or weeks or whatever. Okay, so delayed payoff. Another one is trust required. In order to sell your digital product, whether it be, let's say, a LUT if you're a videographer, a template or graphic design course, people won't buy unless they believe you can actually help them. So if you're creating content that's like not really building trust, it's going to be a really hard time for you to sell these digital products. So you have to find a way to build trust with your audience in order to sell digital products, right? So some pros for digital products. The big one is, or not, I'll say the big one last, but one is full control. You have full control of your product. I mean, you get no clients, no revisions, no deadlines set by someone else. It's your full control. It's in your hands to make this work. And you can create anything you want to create that you think would benefit your target audience, right? So you got full control. And the big one, the big money shot, is scalable income. Income. So you can make money even when you're not actively working. So if you're selling, let's say, a digital product for 10 bucks, you put in the work up front, now you're just creating content and you're running ads or whatever the case may be, you can make money in your sleep at this point. If your product is so damn good and you're getting a lot of people to land on your page and people are buying, you can make so much money from it. I've seen creators who've made 7 figures from their own digital product without having to put in a lot of work compared to what they would put into, let's say, a brand deal or, servicing clients during their one-off projects or retainers, right? They build it once, they release it, people buy, and boom, your income can just scale, right? So that is kind of the 4 pathways to making money as a creator, and I've experienced all 4. I'm currently at this stage of like brand deals and digital products, but if you're just a creative freelancer, right? If you're a freelancer, you really only have access to these 2 right here. Let's scroll down. You only have access to these 2 right here: one-off projects and retainers. But if you're a creator, right? If you're a freelancer turned creator, which I'd like to say I am, you now have access to all 4 of these ways of making money. And now I'm not saying to just do all 4 of these things, or to open up all 4 of these streams of income. I would say just double down on what's working. However, being a creator, it's nice to know that I can just do any of these 4, right? I still take on some freelancing gigs, like gigs that I actually enjoy, but most of my time now is spent on selling a digital product or a brand deal. And I'll give you an example of a digital product, the CreatorDex. It's in the School community. You can go check it out. But most of my income comes from brand deals right now and some retainers with some video clients. But if you're a creator, again, you can access to all 4 of these quadrants, which is really, really nice. And that's when it kind of opens the door to more business opportunities. So that's kind of a basic way or basic explanation of how you can make money as a creator. Again, there's no really wrong or right answer for like what you should pursue. I've made money in all 4 of these quadrants. I made a lot of money in one-off projects, retainers, brand deals, not so much digital products, but I see the vision or I've seen it from other creators as their end goal is to sell their own product. But hopefully this kind of gives you a way to know what stage you're at. But at the end of the day, the goal for us is to turn freelancer into creator. If you're a creative freelancer or an aspiring content creator, there's a video that I created just last week on why 99% of content creators fail. And the reason why they fail is because of the lack of consistency. So in that video, I actually break down 4 principles I follow in order for me to be consistent with creating content. I also created a free community specifically for creatives and content creators who want to learn more about how to make money as a creative. And you can check that out in the link down below. It's called the Creator League. Really, really awesome stuff. Now, with that being said, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you next week.